Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. This was said by Martin Luther King Jr., a very idolized man in today's society and back then in society. He was a leader of the civil rights movement that promoted change. By promoting change, I mean segregation. Segregation was a split between black men and white men, women, kids, and kids. Total split. Couldn't eat at the same restaurants, go to the same schools, same fountains, drink at the same fountains, or just play any sports together. All separate. In today's society, that's okay. African Americans and white people and all of color are together as one. And in today's society, everything seems like everything's okay, how everyone is 100% equal, everyone's 100% together, but that isn't the case. African Americans have been treated differently due to stereotypical reasons and also fear that others have towards them for many reasons of their own. The neglect and the negative energy that they receive from civilians and police officers, but people tend not to see the negative energy police officers give to African Americans in different types of ways. One of the biggest movements of today's era is the Black Lives Matter movement. It's a movement where a lot of people want to make their voices heard in the topics of equality and the end of police brutality. I believe in the Black Lives Matter movement because the message it has, which is illustrated in the push for equality, the innocent of black lives, the innocent killings of black men, and the evolution of the movement. I'm incredible to persuade you about this movement because I am an African American man in America, and I have been stereotyped and mistreated due to my color. The Black Lives Matter movement expanded throughout the years due to the innocent killings of African American teenagers and men and women that have been killed by officers and by civilians as well. People felt they couldn't be silent about this traumatizing event. The spark was August 2014 when Michael Brown Jr. was killed by Officer Darren Wilson in Ferguson, Missouri. This went viral. People in Chicago and Baltimore started to protest because they knew this wasn't right. And that was the blinking point of the movement. Years go by and there are many more killings. According to Lisa Ains Theroux, Officer Geiger was charged with manslaughter for breaking and entering into the wrong apartment and killing an unarmed black man named Betham Jean. She simply walked into the apartment, was frightened, and decided to simply pull out her gun. My question is, why are we so simple to pull out a gun on an innocent black man? Why didn't you try to, as a police officer, take total situation? Why are you here? What are you doing in my house? And simply communicate and provoke the killing of another innocent black man. Say their names. By saying their names, those are the people that have fallen to police brutality or unjust deaths. For those who are not educated or don't know about those who have fallen, I educate you to go to #saytheirnames.com and learn about those who have fallen. George Floyd. Many know who that is, many do not. George Floyd was another African American man we lost. We lost him in a very unjust and very sad way. George Floyd was arrested and put on the floor in handcuffs, on the floor. Officer David Chauvin decided to put his knee on his neck for about 8 minutes, so the length or a little bit longer than this speech. For 8 whole minutes, his knee was on his neck. George was not able to breathe. He screamed, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." Officers didn't care. There's about 4 police officers on the scene just sitting there watching, like nothing's going on. Civilians were recording the whole scene, saying, "Get your knee off his neck, you're hurting him." You don't hear him screaming. Officer looked right in the camera and said, kept doing it. He eventually died. The video went viral. People were irate all over the country. People were pissed. People were just very angry about the fact that police officers are abusing their power in that type of way. A quote by Will Smith, famous actor, if you don't know who that is, very famous actor in many movies. He states, "Racism isn't getting worse. It's getting filmed." Many ask, why not the peaceful protests? Why so angry? Throughout many years, African Americans have been disrespected and mistreated and stereotyped in many different ways by police officers and civilians that the only way they feel that they can promote change is through force, since talking isn't doing anything anymore. If you think a mask makes it hard to breathe in America, imagine being African American. Many have sacrificed their careers for this movement. Colin Kaepernick, might not know who that is. That is one of the, back in the day, about 2017, one of the best quarterbacks in San Francisco in football. He played on the Niners. One day before his game, national anthem played, he simply took a knee. Many were looking. He was just standing there. Everyone was like, what is he doing? Many thought it was disrespectful. Many thought he should just stay in his lane and play football. He's not there for politics. And other people just turned it off, didn't care. Kaepernick, after the game, said, "I'm not going to stand and show pride for a country that oppresses black people and those of color." This inspired many, many people because people were shocked. So people who were scared to come out about how they felt started to come out. There were teams that wouldn't come out to the national anthem. There were team players that would take a knee just like him. Colin Kaepernick, later that year, got released from the 49ers that hasn't played football since 2017. Has not been picked up by a team due to his political actions. Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, publicly promoted that he supports the Black Lives Matter movement. By this, throughout the NBA courts, there's hashtag Black Lives Matter. On the players' jerseys, instead of their names, there's Black Lives Matter. There's the names of those who've fallen. It's equality. All those things on their back. And he inspired so many people because NBA is on the top of the list for society because they're such a powerful place, powerful entertainment, and they took on that task. A crazy statistic, the first 3 games of the finals, NBA finals, one of the biggest events in the world, had the lowest viewership that dropped 50% since last year, according to last year, which is the lowest in history, due to the NBA commissioners' thought to promote Black Lives Matter movement. African Americans have been treated very differently in the way they are described, observed, and treated. African Americans tend to have fear towards them for many reasons others don't understand, but people don't understand African Americans also have fear towards those of like police officers and other people who don't view them in that way. Especially in the fear of police brutality, because there have been many scenes and reasons why police officers have taken advantage of their abusive law towards African Americans and have hurt them in many different ways. I personally have seen many videos and witnessed many videos, like obviously George Floyd's video. I've seen many videos of police officers yanking people out of the car, punching them while they're already handcuffed, and just, it'll be 5 police officers against 1 man, just simply kicking, punching, all these things for what? Why? Why? I couldn't tell you why. Due to these actions, I personally tend to fear when I see blue and red lights. Not because I'm a bad kid, I do anything wrong. I'm just like, I just have a total fear for it. Instead of feeling safe, I feel I need to keep my guard up just in case. My parents always tell me, when you get pulled over, put your hands on the dash. I don't think other families are telling their white kids to put your hand on the dash. I don't believe so at all. Lisa H. Theroux, founder and executive producer of Strategies of Youth, states police officers are damaging the mental health of African Americans, which is totally true, which I could take for. And I'm pretty sure there are many African Americans who can say mentally they're afraid of police officers and live with fear rather than just simply being okay to walk down the street and not see a police officer and get all tense. This movement is more than a trend or a wave. It's to promote change. The things that African Americans have went through that I have explained, I hope that has promoted why you would think that they're trying to promote change and what is their reasons for doing this as well. With the push for equality, the innocent lives being taken, and the evolution of the movement. By these events, I acknowledge I have what it makes to understand what African Americans go through and their drive in the Black Lives Matter movement. To promote change to the BLM, you could simply donate to the movement. If you don't like simply spending money, then take it to the streets and say their names and help us promote change. Thank you.